Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mommy and Me. I am Brii Renee, straight from the A.
I'm the original Miss Renee, straight from the A.
See how the Lord worked, tying up that tongue. Anyways, welcome back to another Mommy and Me Monday. Shout out to everybody that's never missing Mommy and Me Monday. Y'all are running up the numbers on YouTube, which I really, really love. Thank y'all for subscribing. And if you are listening in audio world, we appreciate that too. You know, you can always listen via Apple, Spotify, and everywhere that podcasts are. So don't forget to subscribe, follow us on all these platforms, and stay tuned. Anyways.
Also, they can find us on
Channel 85. Channel 85, the app. You can watch there as well. Shout out to all the 85%ers that's been checking it. I've been seeing y'all in the comments too. Hey, y'all. Anyways, this week on Mommy and Me, I want to take it back and just reminisce a little bit on my childhood.
Oh, Lord. Trauma. But go ahead.
I know I was traumatized.
I was traumatized.
Why were you traumatized?
Because you were a brat.
What is a brat? How was I a brat? I got good grades in school. I never got in trouble.
You were still a brat. You
How?
Always thought everything was supposed to be your way.
I wonder where I got that from.
I don't know.
Anyway, so what's do you have a favorite childhood memory? Of me or us?
One that I can't forget that comes to mind, pretty much the day that I brought you home. And after I went through this whole dilemma about you being a boy or girl, and when you were finally here and the doctor said, yes, Miss Robertson, I've been doing this a long time and this is definitely a little girl. So I had to kind of regroup my feelings because I had taken all boy clothes to the hospital thinking that you were going to be a little boy.
That's why I'm a tomboy now. I've been dressing in boy clothes since day one.
No, you haven't. So I remember bringing you home from the hospital. We took this picture of you, and you were such a little bitty thing, and we had to put you in the car seat, and you were all squashed down, and you were all dried up like a little prune. You had the little sun hat on your head to match the little sundress. And, we called you Miss Daisy from that day on. And that was kind of a lasting memory that I kind of held dear.
Who called that baby all dried up?
Well, you were. I mean, I'm just being honest. You were.
Babies do be looking like little mole
Yeah,
rats.
you were a little dried up, little pinkish little,
That's your favorite memory?
You look like Miss Daisy. And I thought, she's got that face right there only a mother could love.
Clearly.
But that was one of my fondest ones. I look back now and laugh, But you were beautiful. You were a beautiful, bald-headed little girl.
They say when you bald head, that's when your hair be long.
Yeah, God knows that's the truth. Because it took a whole year for me to be able to pull it together to make one ponytail. Yeah. And then you were still bald all the way back here.
I told everybody my hair grew in the middle.
Yeah.
And then I had baby hair. It was really like baby hair. They just trying to look.
Yeah, we said, you didn't have enough to brush. So I would take the sponge off a roller and just try to lay it down a little bit.
Not the sponge off a roller.
Yeah, it was a sponge. It wasn't the actual hairbrush because you didn't have anything to brush. I mean, and then I would lay it down, and that's all it would do is lay down. And then on the day of your birthday, we gave you a 1-year-old party, and that was a very beautiful day. I was so happy because I could put it in a little ponytail.
I had one of them. I could fight ponytails.
I couldn't do much with it, but just enough to put it in a little ball. And it was obvious that, you were a girl. You couldn't be confused at that point with being a little boy because you had one ponytail.
I have that on tape, I think. On that tape, that first birthday party a little bit.
You had your little jogging suit on with your little tennis shoes, and you ended up posing like a little gangster because your jacket was hanging off of you, your little shirt was a little oversized, and I thought that was kind of cute.
I've been a gangster.
Oh yeah, right. You think you always wanted to be a gangster from the hood that you never lived in, So that was always funny.
What made, like, thinking of that video, I was talking about that I still have that VHS tape with like everything and all of like these random childhood moments on this one tape. I actually want to get it turned into a DVD, but like what made you want to document that, especially back then? Because it wasn't like you were putting it anywhere. People didn't put stuff out on YouTube. You weren't vlogging.
Well, it was just something we did. I mean, that the VHSs were in at the time. There was nothing, special that that I thought, oh, let me document this so that you could, whatever. But just something we did.
What's something along the way? Okay, like past taking me home from the hospital, past being 1 year old. You never had like a random memory. Give me something from like when I had a real personality. It could be good or bad.
We were taking you to the movies to see, trying to think, Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
Lion King had just come out, and I didn't really know much about the movie. I hadn't seen it, but there was just so much hype about it. And we were on our way to see it, and I was talking to my partner and asking questions about it. And your little smart ass hollered out, well, it's animated, Mama. You know what an animation is? And I looked back to kind of had a question like, how do you know what an animation, animated
what,
movie
like
was? Yeah. And I was like, how do you know that? So that was kind of a funny moment for me because I didn't know it was an animated movie. And I thought you were rather smart at that point. I said, okay.
I don't remember that.
I remember.
But I do remember, like, surprisingly, I have like glimpses of memory, like snapshots of different moments. Like I remember us packing up to go to Disney World. Remember when we went to Disney World as a family and like
we should go all the time.
No, like the first time, I think it was like Janata, Buzzo, all us drove down there in the van.
Mm-hmm.
I remember packing up. I remember leaving, walking out. I don't know why. I just remember like you yelling at everybody and us leaving out the back door of that house on Bourne Court. Like I remember packing up to go to Disney World.
Okay.
I remember one time we was going to Red Lobster on Candler Road, and it was like a billboard, and it said "Virgin." Teach your kids is not a bad word.
Mm-hmm.
And I was probably like 8, and I was like, "Mom, what's a virgin?" Because it was like, "Teach your kids is not a bad word." So what is it then? And then I think you went home then and like really explained the birds and the bees to me. I mean, not in full detail. Well, you did draw a diagram.
Okay. Okay.
You did. You was like, this is what happens when two people love each other. But it wasn't like about the whole love thing. It's so many things I remember. Do you have any bad childhood memories?
We don't want to talk about those.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Give me one bad one.
When you, likewise, your sister, ran up your cell phone bill.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, boo, that's weak.
Oh, that's weak?
Yeah, that's
but it wasn't weak to me when I'm trying to figure out how to pay the bill. I've got a budget. Yeah, that's a lot I had to pay. Thanks a lot. And you got your phone cut off. I'm trying to budget my money to make sure I'm able to, meet all my obligations, and, I get this surprise, and, you've gone over your minutes.
And I think, I don't even remember. I feel like I did that so many times. What was my repercussion?
You got your phone taken.
Oh. Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything that you feel like you thought I would remember, but or like you know how as a parent, you like might overthink or overplan or want things to be so perfect because for the moments and the memories?
No, I can't think of anything that I thought.
Cause you ain't care, honey.
I am now. I'm too busy, trying to figure out how to make sure we got food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make sure you got the things that you need to get to school, and trying to make sure that I can afford the extracurricular activities, trying to make sure that car notes get paid, the house note gets paid, all those real life experiences that I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't trying to, let me see what memories I can make sure you hold on to, and, You last, life
Because you
itself.
don't really get to pick and choose what somebody remember.
No, you don't.
I remember all them ass whoopings.
I'm glad you did.
I remember those.
They were meant to be memorable.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't whoop asses just for the sake of whooping asses. I whooped them to be memorable, and you knew that you deserved it at that point if you got one.
I don't know if I deserved it, but
yeah.
What about, was there anything that might have happened when I was a kid that you felt like, oh, I hope she never remembers this?
No.
Or you like purposely tried to make sure I didn't?
No, because I think when you're trying to raise children and you're trying to be the best parent, see, there's a difference, I think, in raising children and just having children. You see, when you're raising children, I think you're more conscious about everything you do. You're conscious about what you tell them. You're conscious about the lessons that you try to teach them. You're conscious about, the environment that you expose them to. You're conscious about even the people that you expose them to. You're conscious about, to me, everything about that child you're conscious about. So you're not doing things, or you're not trying to create situations that you regret and that subsequently the child regrets. That's just my philosophy of raising a child. I just think that that's what you do as a parent. So I'm not out there thinking about, well, I'm not going to do this because I don't want her to remember this, or I'm going to do this because I want to remember. No, I'm conscious about trying to be the best parent that I can be, trying to make sure that I'm giving or laying down the best examples and being the best person that I know how to be, so that you get the best life lessons. It's not about picking and choosing, because then at that point, I don't think that I'm being real and authentic. I think when you're trying to navigate that space, trying to make sure the child remembers this or doesn't remember that, you're not doing what's really in the best interest of the child. Because at that point, as long as I've got your best interest at heart, I don't give a damn what you remember, what you don't remember. I'm just trying to be the best parent I can be.
But some things in life might just happen, like that you just pray your child don't remember. Like maybe you had a bad argument, or
no, because
financial struggles. Some people be going through it early on when they first got the kid. They be like, "Ooh, at least you won't remember we were struggling."
No. I think that's wrong, because I think children should know you were struggling.
They should.
So they don't take shit for granted.
Why should they know you were struggling?
They should know that things don't come easy. They should know that, hey, you weren't born with a silver spoon. Hey, there's a price to be paid for this. Hey, that wasn't free. Hey, I made certain sacrifices. They should know that.
But
because when kids don't know that, they grow up with a crazy, stupid sense of reality.
Like
I think
money
kids
just grow on trees.
Money grow on trees. That you can take, a $20 shirt or a $50 shirt or $100 shirt and just treat it any kind of way. Or, you take stuff that, that I had to work hard for and just disregard it, or you don't respect certain things. So no, I think children should have a real sense of reality.
Well, I don't think that them knowing what you're struggling with do that, though. I think that that's something that come from you instilling certain principles in them.
But you can't instill those principles in them if they don't see it. They don't get it. I think that matters. I mean, not necessarily say, hey, look, I'm up worried all night, because
that's not your child responsibility.
Right. Well, I'm not saying to the extent you say, hey, look, we're about to get put outdoors because I can't pay the rent. But I think kids need to know, hey, you can't leave that light on, recklessly and, not turn it off, because there's a price to be paid for that. And that comes out of, our bottom line. So I think there's a way to teach your children the struggles. There's a way to teach them, those life lessons without them having to carry the burden. If that makes sense. Because I never wanted to, and I should always tell you and your sister all the time that your job was to do what?
Go to school and get an education.
Right. So your job was never to worry about how you were going to eat, how the lights were going to stay on, how the rent was going to get paid. or any of those things. Those were not your struggles. Those were my struggles. And so I think it's important that we teach our children that those struggles are real, but without having your children to bear those burdens.
Okay, I think that's fair. Because I do think that it's a fine line of like
Mm-hmm.
being a real brat, even though you said I was a brat.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
you
think
were
I was.
bratting.
But I
now.
wasn't though, because I got those lessons.
Yeah, you got those lessons, but still you could have been a little less confrontational. You could have been a little less mouthy. You could have been a little less amenable, to the point where I didn't have to always threaten your life. You see, I threatened your life a lot more than I actually had to threaten your sister's life.
I don't believe that's true.
Well, I did threaten her life, but I threatened her life later on in life versus I started threatening you a little earlier.
Why? Why you feel like you had to start threatening me earlier?
Because you were a little bit more mouthy and confrontational a lot earlier. Your sister was never mouthy, never confrontational, very respectful. Very. She did not
Am I disrespectful?
Oh, yes, there were times you were. Very disrespectful.
Am I the drama?
Yes. Oh, yes, you were the drama queen.
What? Like, give me an example.
Oh, everything was so dramatic. If I said, I come back to this same, this example. Sabrina, go and do X, Y, Z. But why does it have to be that way? Well, why can't it be this way? Well, why does it have? Well, just because you said so, Mama, doesn't always make it.
I think you're being dramatic.
I'm not being dramatic.
I think
that
so.
was you at every opportunity you got. And to the point where I used to have to put my foot down and say, enough is enough. You said your little piece. Now go do what I said do.
But why do you think I'm like that?
I don't know why you.
Oh, you don't.
I mean, I always encourage you to be opinionated, but again, sometimes you would take it too far.
And maybe I get that from you.
No.
I ain't never heard you just say okay to nothing. You always got something to say.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
I know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Well, I'm learning that.
You're learning it, but I already know it, and I already knew it. You
had to learn it at some point too.
But see, as a child, that lesson should have been learned a lot sooner. Mm. See, you were trying to enforce your will, like you said, people always, and then in the blogs, they say, well, parents trying to control their children. No, it was never that I was ever trying to control you or control anybody, but it was always trying to teach you the boundaries for you to understand that every fight wasn't a battle and every battle wasn't a war. But with you always had to test it to see if it needed to be the war, if it was going to be a war, if you tried to make it a war.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And I wasn't always willing to go to battle.
Was there ever a time that you punished me that you regretted it?
No.
Or like, well, dang,
Nope.
I didn't get the question out all the way.
Nope, because every ass whooping you got, you deserve.
You never felt bad? You never felt like, why did I do this to my child? I should have never put my hands on her.
Oh, well, hell no, I never felt that way.
I should have never yelled and spoke to her that way. You never felt remorseful?
No.
Well, we see who ain't got no heart or conscience.
No, I have a heart and a conscience. But see, there's a difference in being a disciplinary and abusive.
Do you think that there might have been a different tactic then that you should have been taking?
No. Because the tactic God gave me is the tactic I was using. No.
So if you could go back in your early parenthood, you wouldn't do nothing different?
No, I wouldn't. I am satisfied. I am okay.
Are you?
Yes, I am okay with the way that I parented. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that.
Not completely okay.
But here's the thing. I know that everything I did in the right frame of mind, in the right spirit, and for the right reasons. So I don't have any remorse. I was never abusive. I was never the parent that was going to do anything that was going to hurt you. Everything I did, I was doing it in a place where it was for your good. whether you agree or disagree, that's fine for you to do that. But as a parent, see, and this is what I say all the time. If you truly raise your children, and this is what I truly believe, if people really raise their children, their consciences are clear. I don't have any regrets that I should have done this or I should have done that, or I was too lenient here, or I wasn't strict enough there. I mean, I did everything I knew to do in the way that I knew to do it. I thought I did it under the leadership and the guidance of the good Lord, in a place where my heart was pure, and I knew I was doing it for the best interest of my child, to try to make you and your sister very productive, vibrant, strong women. And all that came from a place of love. Mm-hmm. So I don't have any regrets. And see, as a child, my mama told me years ago, at a very young age, be careful about the things you say and do. You need to live your life in a way that you don't have regrets. You see, I'm not going to do, and that requires you sometimes to stop and think about what the hell you're about to say and what it is you're about to do, so that you don't have those regrets. And I'm not going to live my life regretting having done something or having not done something. I'm not going to do that to myself.
Well, as long as your heart and mind is clear.
My heart, as the preacher say, let every heart and mind be clear before we leave the church. My heart and my mind is clear, baby. I don't have any regrets. A little murky. No, yours may be a little murky. No, I'm just but on the flip side of that, do you have any memorable ass whoopings or any memorable
For sure.
regrets? Okay, what's a memorable one?
A memorable whooping?
Yeah.
When I lost my virginity.
Okay. That's something that you shouldn't have done, that you regretted doing, that I preached about you not doing. And see, those are the things that I tried to teach you so that you wouldn't have those regrets.
I didn't necessarily have it. It wasn't a regret.
Well, when you lost it.
I just remember the whooping.
Okay, well, that may be, had you did what I needed, had you did what I said do and followed those rules, you wouldn't have gotten an ass whooping. Do I regret giving you that ass whooping when that happened? No, I don't.
I didn't think you did.
I don't regret it. Would I give you that ass whooping again? Absolutely. For the same reasons. Because I took the the attitude, and I know they say kids are not possessions, and kids this, that, and the other, but I believe that you're mine. Everything about you belongs to me until you are of a certain age where I can hand you over to yourself. I know that sounds crazy to some people, but that's the way I believe. And
how do you determine when it's okay to hand your child over to themselves?
Because
some people be moving out at 16, some people moving out 17.
When my child is mature enough and responsible enough to handle your business, to handle everything that my child needs to handle. I think
and that may be test that out though.
Yes, you do. And I can, as a parent, your children. You can, you testing, you noticing, you observing that all along the way. I know when you're damn 10 years old, you don't have the mindset to be out there making decisions for yourself. I know when you're 12, you probably don't. Now, when you get to be about 15, 16, you might start to make some good decisions. And then in some cases, you might be able to make a lot of good decisions. It depends on the child's maturity level.
Were you ever really worried about me in any area?
Yeah. That you would this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed little girl and thinking, oh, the world loves me. Oh, wow, I'm Brii and the world loves me. And, and there'll be no harm that will come to me because I'm Brii. Yeah.
It's not just because I'm Brii. It's because I feel like if I'm not doing anything.
Right, because I'm nice and sweet, the world is going to be nice and sweet.
Yeah.
You know, the world is not going to cause me any harm, and there are predators out there. I should tell you all the time, the world going to chew you up and spit your ass out.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
And suck the bone.
Yeah, because we have to prepare you to be able to ward off these wolves. You know, to understand it and to know I'm telling you, look, wake the hell up. This world is not as kind as you think it is. Well, mommy, you just this and you just that. And
Negative.
you just negative and you just think the worst and you just this, that. And then all of a sudden you have to come back and say, Mama, I just got chewed up and you were right. And I could have saved you that damn chewing up if you'd have just listened. That's all.
Well, some lessons have to be taught and some are bought.
Yeah.
I bought that one in experience.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's unfortunate, but that's when you know that your child is okay to hand them over to themselves. And that may sound crazy, but it's the reality of it. You're not, and unfortunately, some get it sooner than others. I mean, I know people now that hell is, you know, dealing with their 20-plus-year-old children and some 30-plus-year-old children. They can't handle themselves, their own responsibilities. Mama's still going to rescues.
I can handle most of my responsibilities.
Oh, you still holler. Most? What happened? What happened to
Because
handling? What happened to handling all of them? You're 30-plus years old, but I mean, you know, it's still, and that's, and you know what, and that's something that I think all parents should really listen to. She's 30-plus, and now she's acknowledging that I can handle most of my responsibilities, you know, so you never get to freely kick them out of the damn nest, you know?
I mean, I'm not the nest, but I still be flying around it.
Yeah, hovering. You don't be flying. You be hovering over the nest.
What's in the nest? I need somebody there.
Yeah, so, you know, it's...
But I don't think anybody ever, like, fully... You call your mama for stuff?
I call my mama all the time. I talk to my mama every day.
And you 50, 60.
Yeah, and she encourages me every day, baby. You know, it's going to get better. And so I'm encouraging, and I want to encourage parents out there to say, it's going to get better.
Hopefully.
It's going to get better.
What's some other lessons you wish I had got sooner?
That one sticks out more so than anything.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of like that deer in the headlight type of mentality.
Not deer in the headlight, just more like Bambi.
Bambi's a deer, right?
Yeah.
Still a deer in the headlight. Yeah.
Bright-eyed, bushy tail.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm Brii. The world's going to love me.
I never said that. That's just how you
that
thought.
that was your, and I was like, this kid just doesn't get it.
Well, maybe that's because you provided such like a well-cushioned lifestyle.
Well, no.
So I didn't really know how hard knock life got.
Until you got out there in it. Yeah, and that's what we do as parents. You know, we provide you the lifestyle that we can. Some parents can't give you that cushy lifestyle. Some parents can only give you what they have and what they're dealing with at the moment. Some parents, you know, are fortunate, like myself, you know, that we're able to give you a little bit more. And now looking back on hindsight, maybe that wasn't the best.
I was about to say, which one you think is better, raising your children in struggle or the privilege? Because you was kind of I ain't gonna say you was raised in struggle because you had everything you needed, but you know, you were not considered a privileged kid. You feel like that's better than raising your child in like, which one's better? Raising your child in struggle or raising your children in privilege? Which one you think will make more of a well-rounded or successful human being or adult?
I don't know which is better, so to speak.
Because everybody strives to raise their children with privilege.
Like well, not necessarily with privilege, but raise them a little bit better than they were raised, so to speak. So, but sometimes the lessons that you learn growing up through struggles are very valuable. And it's like when you take those lessons away and some kids don't experience those struggles, they don't appreciate they don't respect. They don't get it, so to speak. And you hate to say that, damn it, they should have been raised, in the ghetto, because everybody wants to get to the next level. Nobody wants to be at a point where you don't want to be there. Mm-hmm. You always want to be a step better, get ahead a little bit more, be in a better position to, you want to give your kids just a little bit more, sometimes we do a good job and sometimes we don't do a good job.
Well, I'm going to create struggle for my kids.
See, that's cruel.
No, it's not. Like you said, I want them to get those lessons that they were not going to get because they don't live in the ghetto.
So why are you going to create? So tell me, what kind of struggles are you going to create?
I'm going to get them budgets. I'm going to be like,
that ain't a struggle.
I'm saying, well,
you had a budget.
I'm going to make them think the lights off one day. I'm just going to go out there, hit the breaker and see how they can survive in the house with the lights off.
Okay, well, that might be considered cruel. I don't know.
It ain't cruel. All I gotta do is hit the switch and the breaker back on.
I don't know, but
like little things like that, creating obstacles so that they become critical thinkers, so they quick on their feet.
I don't know.
So they know how to improvise, so they can be creative. so like, all you got in the kitchen is a pack of noodles, some Doritos, and a Red Bull. What you gonna make happen? And a pack of Kool-Aid.
See, that's not necessary.
Let's see how you can make it work.
Those may be cruel jokes that you may be playing.
Struggle Olympics.
Struggle.
We're going to have them go through the Struggle Olympics every summer. It's going to be different levels.
And then I think my caring kids will probably spend the summers with me.
Well, that's fine. That's way better. Look, hey, see how I just free myself up for the summers.
See, I don't think that you create those. I don't know if they would take it serious, though. I mean,
Why wouldn't they came home, Mom, the light's not on, be like, did you pay the bill?
See, that's not their responsibility. They have to pay the bill. Then you should put that on them, And I think,
I'm hungry. It's something in there. Ma, it ain't nothing here but some noodles and Doritos and bread. Better make a noodle sandwich. What you go eat? What you go do? Let me see what you got in you. You gonna sit in there and starve?
No, see, I don't think.
I want to raise...
See, I don't think that's going to do it. You got to give more lessons than that.
To give them character.
I see you may be building character, but I think that what you're going to do is those kids are going to pick up the phone and they're going to call me.
You. And then you're going to spoil them. And all of that, what they need to learn and take this, they ain't going to know it because grandma going to get them wherever, anything they want.
Well, if my grandkids were to call me.
You want a restaurant? You hungry? I'll buy you a restaurant.
No.
That's how you be.
No, if my grandkids call me and they're hungry, I'm going to make sure they eat. If I got to tell them to call Uber nowadays, I used to be when, grandma would go to the grocery store and go get food and bring it over to the house. Or, grandma would go get the kids and bring the kids and feed them.
Yeah, grandmas used to cook every Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
You a grandma?
Okay.
So start cooking every Sunday.
My grandkids don't miss a meal on Sundays.
Mm-hmm. Well, you ain't cooked.
They don't miss a meal on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them this past week. We all ate dinner together Sunday. They don't miss a meal on Sundays.
What's something that you feel like those things like not miss, like what's something like cooking on Sundays that might not be around that you feel like aren't as important as we thought they were? It might not be Sunday dinner because I do think that's important.
Yeah, that's important. We've always had the Sunday dinners together. We've always spent I think it's important to instill in children at a very young age the value of family. Family is important. I don't give a damn what kind of family you got. I don't care how many coasts you're on. I don't care, the dynamics of growing up. I don't care what the issues were. I think because first of all, when a kid understands the dynamics and importance of family, I think you teach them a lot of things at that point. I think you teach them how important it is to respect people with that lesson. I think they understand that the world revolves around others, not just them. I think they get it.
I hated learning that.
Yes, the world revolves around other people, not just you. I think they learn how to deal with the world when they understand the dynamics of family.
Conflict resolution.
Absolutely. So I think that when a kid gets that,
Mm-hmm.
that kid grows up to be a very, very solid individual. They're loving, they're understanding, and they're respectful. Now, some folks, even though we try to teach them that, and they've had all the upbringing, some of them just don't get it. Some kids just don't understand that regardless of whether you like the lesson that your mother taught you, you respect the fact that that is your mother. You know,
And at least she was teaching you something.
right. Or at least, you know,
she cared enough.
Right. And she may not have been able to buy you the Jordans or the, you know, the Versace's or the LVs, but your house was clean. You got a pair of Levi's to go to school in. You had the Converse, you know. So kids don't respect, and I think a lot of it, and I won't even say, I that changed my mind. I was going to say a lot of it boys, but I take that back. I think a lot of it could be well considered 50-50, because I've heard people and I've talked to people that have those issues with their girls. I think for girls, it's boys. I think is more so a resentment of who they are, their environment, their upbringing. Girls, I think it goes up to be more of a not understanding the fact that they're young women and the self-value. You follow me? I think that when there's so much conflict there, I think that a lot of it has to do with that. You know, we've got folks in our family now, some male figures. I don't think they get it. That what's really important in life is the family. Get over your selfish feelings or thoughts or whatever you're harboring, but respect and love the fact that you got a family. All you have to do at that point is embrace them. But I think
people take it for granted. It's because people don't get to pick them.
Well,
like you don't get to pick your family.
You're right. And that's, I mean, come on.
I know. So it's like, oh, I'm stuck with these people that I wish I didn't know. I don't like you. Everybody, and I think you think, and we have to be mindful that we are privileged because we have a pretty decent family. But some people families be liars, cheaters, conniving, dirty. Like, I have had friends come around our family and be like, oh, wow, like, y'all family is so different. Like, nobody was screaming and yelling and fighting, or y'all was around each other for 2 days and it was peaceful. Like, everybody don't have that. So you can't really, I think that family is important, me personally, but I also don't fault people who don't value their personal family, because I feel like you can create your family. You can create an extended family. Now,
you can create an extended family.
I would love you whether you was a crackhead or, you know what I'm saying? That's just me. That's how I'm built. I would love my mama regardless. But some people don't feel that way because their mama might have mistreated them, or mama might have never stepped up, or, you know, brothers or sisters might have mistreated them, or, you know, it's so many things, or abandonment, or just rude, nasty people, or jealous. Some people, family be jealous of them. I know it's hard to fathom because it's like, it's family wide, but
right.
If everybody in the family does not share those same core values, but you don't have to subscribe to that.
But see, that's what I'm saying. It starts from the core. You know, you got to have.
It starts from grandmama.
Right. It starts from the core. You know, that's the core.
But everybody ain't got a good grandmama.
Well, that's what we need to change as a society.
Y'all grandmas don't even want to be grandmamas. Y'all not cooking Sunday dinner. Y'all not sitting down. People not even sitting down with their kids, having dinner, talking to them about them. Them children is on tablets all day long.
Well, that's things what we need to change.
Well, change it in your household first because your grandchildren got tablets.
My grandchildren have tablets, but
And
guess
you'll
what?
let them sit on the tablet at the table. You're not sitting there having the same conversations you would have with me and Tisha when we was kids.
But we do have those conversations. I mean, I understand that they like their tablets. That there are days that they don't get their tablets, and they're so into their tablets on the weekends because they don't get them during the week. And I respect that. I understand that they like but I make sure that we talk. Put the tablets down. Let's go outside. Let's play.
Yeah, because you're not just gonna be born with this respect and love and admiration for family, especially if you're not seeing these people on a consistent basis. It's like, I don't really know you.
Right. And that's a problem. They
Why would
gotta
I love you like that? I see you once a year. Christmas, maybe Thanksgiving.
Well, see, that's a problem. We gotta spend
like,
time
okay,
with each other.
What's up?
We gotta break bread with each other. We gotta just be in each other's company. We can be around each other and there be no special holiday. Hey, today Thursday, let me go and see my sister. Let me go talk to my mom. Let me at least pick up the phone and call.
Well, you do that. You do a good job at that. And our family.
Yeah, let's
be like, y'all, what else could we possibly do?
I mean, but that's what we do. I mean, because at the end of the day, I believe that, while we're not spending time to necessarily make memories, we're not spending time to necessarily, have something to talk about later. That's just what I think that we do I enjoy being around my family.
And I think that that's beautiful. But I don't judge those who don't feel that way about their personal family.
And I don't judge.
But I do encourage you to go out there and create that family because like you said, you need that support system.
Yeah.
Whether it's best friends or, classmates, people, you can create your own family. Family is not just by blood. And sometimes those people that you make your family along the way will be better family members and more dependable than the ones you was born with.
I agree.
Because we don't get to pick them.
You're right. We don't get to pick them. And that's something that we need to understand and accept. God didn't give me, I used to tell my mom all the time, you sure you didn't steal me? I'm not supposed to be with this wealthy family. We were laughing about it.
I feel the same way.
We would laugh about it, but I don't want another mother. I'm thankful that God gave me that mother.
Aww.
Was my mother educated? No, she didn't graduate from Harvard. She didn't graduate from Howard. She didn't graduate from Hale High School.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm grateful that he gave me that mama. I'm grateful I had that mother because she taught me very, very valuable life lessons that I love and respect. Did she have the best upbringing? No. Did she have a loving mother who was there supporting her and helping her raise her children? No. Because my mother would tell you that had she known about birth control pills or had she had access to it at her very young age, we probably wouldn't have made it,
Dang.
She probably wouldn't have had all the children, but she didn't know any better. So she had all of these children in an environment that she struggled. She had to take what job she could get to feed us. But let me tell you something, through all of that, and through all of knowing my mother's upbringing, her struggles, and knowing that she didn't have the support there, knowing that, my grandmama didn't give a shit about us. Like you talk about those grandparents, my grandmama didn't like us. Mm. My grandmama, I don't ever remember my grandmama putting her arms around me and saying, baby, I love you. Never. Mm-hmm. And my grandmother never said that. I personally grew up resenting my grandmother. I did. But in spite of all of that, in spite of everything that my mother did not have, I was always sure of one thing, that she loved me. Mm-hmm. Because she went through those struggles. Although she wasn't perfect, she made mistakes along the way. She did the best she could do because she had nobody leading and guiding her. You see, she didn't have that core. But had she had that core, I'm sure she would have been a better person. But through it all, she gave me the best that she could be. And I respect her for that. Because one thing I know for sure, she never left us on a street corner. She put food on the table the best she could. She worked. She instilled in us values. Although we didn't have anything, we had nothing. She had a clean house. She made sure we clean. She made sure that we loved ourselves, we respected ourselves. And one thing she didn't allow us to do is that we couldn't fight in the house. If me and my brothers, my sister, if we got into a fight, we got an ass whooping. And those are just her rules.
Because everybody getting whooped.
Yeah, everybody's getting an ass whooping. You know why? She said the world is going to beat you up enough. What you're not going to do is tear each other down in here. So you're going to learn to get along with one another.
Nice.
And that's what we did. And so having that core, having her, she became our core. Mama became our core. Did she have her faults? Yeah. Could she have been a better person? Yeah. Had she known better? But she did the best she could. Now, see, you got to understand something. Even knowing all of that, she never gave up. She never gave up. She could have walked away and said, hey, here's society, here welfare system, here government, you take them, you raise them. But in spite of what it took, in spite of the hard times, she never gave up.
Well, shout out to you, Granny. Do you feel like there's anything, because now you're mature, now you're grown, now you have these revelations and realizations about how much your mom did. But honestly speaking, can you look back and be like, okay, I did take this for granted about my mom? Is there anything you ever took for granted that she did, or anything about her that you took for granted? Or maybe just didn't appreciate till you got to be older?
I didn't appreciate her struggles until I got to be older.
Were you mad or resentful as a kid? Because some kids, like I remember my homeboy, he was like he was going to the 9th grade, and he was saying he was helping his mom kind of like raise his younger sibling. And then here she was, they were already struggling with 2. And then she got pregnant with the 3rd. And he was like, he really got mad at her and resented her. Like, how dare you bring another mouth to feed in this house when we've already been struggling already? So he resented the fact that she chose to have another child. So have you ever had any moments like that where you resented or took for granted, Granny?
No.
You ain't never taken your mama for granted. Like, you was not no perfect kid.
No, I wasn't a perfect
It's something you ain't like.
I resented the fact that we had to move to the projects, but I didn't understand it. But once I got old enough to understand why we had to move there, I said, okay, now I understand. Thank God the stay was short. I guess if you call 4 years short, it was short. And
what hood you was in?
Carver Home.
Rep your set.
Rep my what?
Rep your hood.
Rep my hood. I mean, I'm not ashamed that I grew up in Carver Home.
Where that was at?
Southwest Atlanta. Mm-hmm.
I know, but I'm saying where, like what street that was on?
I lived on Wilcox Street. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's clearly not a street name no more.
Yes, it is. I don't know if the street's name's that anymore anyway.
Wilcox? I don't know a street.
Yeah, Wilcox.
Okay, so this part of the episode is for the record. Do you have any for the records?
For the record, I want parents to know that it's okay to not be able to give your kids the perfect life. It's okay for your kids to see you struggle.
I think that helps.
No.
Give them a little struggle.
No, don't give them superficial struggle, because I think they're going to miss the lesson. But I think it's okay
curated struggle
to be able to give them what you're able to give them. But I think what's more important is that we teach them the values of things, the value of life, letting them understand that, it's okay to appreciate certain things, but also know that everything comes with a price.
Okay. My for the record is I did get that lesson, regardless of how bratty you thought I was. But also, I will admit that maybe I was a little bit of a brat.
Oh, hey, hallelujah.
I don't like to use the word brat, but combative, vocal, opinionated. That sounds pretty accurate.
Well,
But I didn't do it because I was trying to do it or that was my intent. And I think that as an adult, I'm still learning. Like, I'm really trying to figure out why I'm naturally just like that. Like, even in my friendships or relationships, like, I'm trying not to be that. But it pains me sometimes to like,
shut the hell up.
yeah.
Well, that's okay.
It feels like I'm not being true or authentic. It feels like I'm being phony. And then now I'm harboring these emotions and now I'm walking around acting like nothing wrong when something is wrong.
Well, I think there's a better way to address it.
I need therapy on that.
No, I think there's a better way to address it. You just got to learn to say what you mean what you say, and let it go. You see, we learn those traits as a parent, believe it or not, to just let it go.
Mm.
It doesn't affect me to tell you no. I mean no. And let it go.
Okay.
Don't attach any emotions to it. And see, that's what you got to learn, to detach yourself. You got to learn to detach your emotions from things.
I'm very much attached to everything. I'm going to work on that.
You got to learn to detach your emotions. You have a disagreement with your boyfriend. You disagree with what he says. Okay. I disagree with it and I move on. I disagree. Hey. But I don't have to stand and say I did. Now sometimes I say that because sometimes because the emotions are involved, it's going to get a little bit heated.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes as you continue to get older and you continue to work on yourself, you can say, okay. You can argue and say, whatever you say, baby.
Okay.
Whatever you say, sweetheart, and move on.
Next level of maturity activated. Okay. Now it's time for I Want to Know, where we get to ask each other something that we want to know, and we have to be honest. What do you want to know this week?
I want to know, what are your memorable moments as a child growing up? Something that really, really, really stuck out with you, other than losing your virginity. Something that really, really, really stuck out, were good or bad?
I have so many memories that like I said, I remember going to Disney World. I remember disappointing you. I think that's the only time I remember really disappointing you was like when I didn't do that test properly I purposely flunked the test so I didn't have to go to the private school. And that really hurt your feelings. And I was like, dang, I didn't know she cared that much. I just want to stay with my friends. But I have so many great memories. One thing that I did appreciate that I think that helped me be the creative that I am was having my own space. Like I pretty much always had my own room. I had my own books, my own music, my own radio, my own games, like everything was mine. So I think that very much shaped who I am today. Like I like my things in certain places. If I put things in places in my house, this is the space for it. I don't want nobody moving it because I'm so used to kind of being like the only child or having my own space, but also being alone. Cause Tisha was 9 years older than me. So technically I kind of did grow up as the only child because she was grown when I was going through like most of the growing up. So I learned how to entertain myself, whether it be reading or listening to music or just thinking. Like I can literally be alone and be entertained. Singing it, like you will think I'm putting on the whole performance for Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but I'm in there by myself. Literally, when I was living with Summer, I was standing I don't know why. I was standing on the chair in the bathroom singing in the mirror right before the shower. And Summer like came in my room and it like scared me because I thought I was in there and she was like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, oh, that's just in my own world. So it's like, I think having, like, I remember staying off Snapfinger and just listening to music all night or laying out in the hammock and, or even when one time we bought, I don't know if you remember that wooden rocking chair and then I painted it. Like just having the freedom to be fully creative and explore whatever creative or artistic thoughts that I had. I could express that. And I think that's a freedom that a lot of children, especially when you're growing up in struggle, don't often get, you know, because maybe you forced into raising your siblings or, you know, handling other responsibilities. But I had that freedom. So I'm grateful for that.
Okay. I could see that. And I think as parents, we could do a better job in encouraging our children to find their space or helping them navigate their own space, not putting so much of adult responsibilities and dramas and things on those children. I think that's important.
I think that's what helped me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, y'all. This has been another episode of Mommy and Me. Shout out to everybody. Thank y'all so much for watching and spending your Monday night with us or whenever you're watching. We love you all. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you never miss a Mommy and Me Monday, and download channel 85 so you can catch up and be a part of the 85%ers over there. And until next time, I'm Brii Renee.
And I'm Miss Renee, the original Miss Renee from the A.
I didn't even say the tag, so you didn't have to do all that. But bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.